Prison authorities were shocked when they saw a picture of Officer Linda de Sousa Abreu getting freaky with an inmate. But what was even more troubling was the fact that she also had an OnlyFans page where she posted their illicit encounters. The media outrage was even worse when pictures of correction officer Mr. Big Pants down with a police officer surfaced online. Over the years, there have been multiple instances of leaked prison photos and videos. Let's take a look at some of the naughtiest leaks. Scotland prison warder caught kissing an inmate. In HMP Addywell, located in West Lothian, Scotland, an incident unfolded that would send ripples through the prison community and beyond. The scandal involved a prison officer who was caught in a compromising position with an inmate named Kevin Hogg. This revelation was captured in a video that quickly made its way into the internet, leading to debate. The video in question depicted the officer and Hogg locked in a passionate kiss, a moment that defied the strict codes of conduct expected within the prison walls. The image was not just a breach of professional ethics, but also a violation of the trust placed in those tasked with maintaining order and discipline in correctional facilities. The officer, whose identity was initially withheld, found herself at the center of a media frenzy as the photograph circulated widely, drawing attention from both the public and authorities. The officer, facing immense pressure and scrutiny, made the decision to resign from her position. Unfortunately, the female officer wasn't the only one who lost her job to such a scandal, as you'll see soon. Encombe prison officers busted for illicit affair. At the Encombe Correctional Facility in KwaZulu-Natal, a scandal erupted. Two female officers found themselves at the center of a controversy when they were discovered to be having illicit affairs with an inmate. The affair came to light when suspicions arose regarding the unusual amount of time the officers were spending with the inmate. An internal investigation was launched, and it was soon uncovered that one of the officers had gone so far as to allow her office to be used for the immoral encounters. Some people on social media speculated that the officer who allowed her office to be used may have done it for a fee. The forbidden love led to serious consequences for the officers involved. The officer who had permitted her office to be used for the sexual acts faced disciplinary action that ultimately led to her dismissal. The other officer involved also faced disciplinary measures. She was dismissed from her position as well. Both women will have a hard time getting a job in corrections in the future, just like the next CO on this list. Officer and inmate captured kissing at Losperfontein. The Losperfontein Correctional Service Center became the focal point of an unsettling incident involving a female prison officer and an inmate. The officer was caught on camera in a compromising situation, kissing an inmate, a breach of conduct that would have severe repercussions. This incident, captured on video, quickly spread through the facility, leading to an uproar among staff and management. Details about this inappropriate relationship between the officer and the inmate almost led to riots in the prison. The officer, who had been entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining discipline and order, had crossed a professional boundary that compromised the integrity of the institution. In the aftermath of the incident, the officer faced immense pressure and scrutiny from both her colleagues and superiors. The weight of the scandal and the potential consequences of her actions became overwhelming. Tragically, the officer chose to take her own life, a decision that added a layer of heartbreak to an already distressing situation. Her suicide prompted the police department to launch an internal investigation to understand the circumstances that led to such a tragedy. Our next CO didn't just become intimate with a prisoner, but also had an OnlyFans account. London prison guard and inmate caught in raunchy embrace. In the bustling city of London, Wandsworth Prison became the venue of a scandal that would captivate the public's attention. At the heart of this controversy was Linda de Sousa Abreu, a female prison guard whose actions would bring her notoriety and raise serious questions about professional conduct within the correctional system. Linda was caught having an illicit affair with an inmate named Linton Wyrick. The affair between Linda and Linton was exposed when a raunchy video surfaced, capturing the two in a compromising situation. The footage left little to the imagination and provided undeniable evidence of the inappropriate relationship between the guard and the inmate. What made this incident even more sensational was Linda's involvement in an OnlyFans account, where she knowingly participated in explicit content. This dual life, balancing her role as a prison guard with her online persona, added a layer of complexity to the scandal. Linda faced disciplinary action from the prison authorities, who were determined to uphold the integrity of the institution. Visitor gets naughty with inmate in Manhattan. The Manhattan Detention Center was the backdrop of a scandal that would prompt significant changes in its visitor policies. The incident involved a visitor who was caught engaging in sexual intercourse with an inmate. The incident came to light when surveillance footage captured the illicit encounter between the visitor and the inmate. The footage, which quickly became the subject of an internal investigation, showed the two individuals in a compromising position, flagrantly disregarding the regulations that prohibit such activities. The discovery of this breach prompted city jail officials to launch a comprehensive investigative probe into the matter, aiming to uncover how such an incident could occur under the watchful eyes of the facility's security measures. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the incident was not just an isolated lapse in judgment, but indicative of broader vulnerabilities within the detention center's visitor protocols. In response to the scandal, city jail officials took decisive action to tighten the regulations surrounding visitor conduct. One of the key measures implemented was a prohibition on inappropriate dressing for visitors. Of course, implementing a dress code didn't stop a Russian mafia boss from carrying on with his affair. Russian mafia boss caught having an affair with a prison activist. A Russian mafia boss found himself at the center of a scandal that would captivate the attention of both the public and the authorities. The incident involved the mafia boss being caught in a compromising situation with a prison human rights activist. The affair came to light when prison authorities, harboring suspicions about the unusually long meetings between the mafia boss and the activist, decided to take action. The meetings, which were meant for discussions on prison conditions and human rights issues, consistently exceeded their expected duration, raising eyebrows among the prison staff. The prison authorities, determined to uncover the truth, discreetly set up video equipment to monitor the interactions between the two individuals. The decision to install secret cameras proved to be pivotal. Footage captured by the hidden equipment revealed the illicit activities between the mafia boss and the activist. The video evidence was undeniable, showing the two engaged in sexual acts, a clear violation of the rules governing interactions within the prison. The involvement of a human rights activist, someone expected to uphold ethical standards and advocate for the rights of inmates. While this case involved a mafia and a human rights activist, the next case involved two law enforcement agents. Prison officer dismissed for having an affair with a cop. In a scandal that rocked the foundations of both the Department of Correctional Services and the police, a figure known as Mr. Big found himself at the center of a controversy that would lead to his dismissal. The incident involved a scandalous sex video featuring Mr. Big and a police officer, a revelation that would cause significant embarrassment to both institutions and raise serious questions about professional conduct and accountability. The video, which surfaced under mysterious circumstances, depicted Mr. Big and the police officer in a compromising situation. The footage, which quickly circulated among both correctional and law enforcement circles, left little to the imagination and provided undeniable evidence of the inappropriate relationship between the two. The fallout from the scandal was immediate and far-reaching. The Department of Correctional Services, already under scrutiny for various operational challenges, found itself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The involvement of a police officer in the scandal only served to compound the embarrassment. For Mr. Big, the consequences were severe. The scandal led to his dismissal from the Department of Correctional Services. Inmate trades intimacy for favors with Argentina judge. In Argentina, a scandal unfolded that would capture the attention of the nation and raise serious questions about the boundaries between personal and professional conduct within the judiciary. The incident involved a judge who was caught in an alleged affair with an inmate, a revelation that would lead to widespread speculation and controversy. The events leading up to the scandal began innocently enough. The judge had been visiting the inmate as part of a project she claimed was related to a book she was writing. The inmate, a figure with a notorious reputation, had agreed to participate in the interviews. However, as the visits continued, rumors began to circulate about the nature of the relationship between the judge and the inmate. The frequency and duration of the meetings raised eyebrows among prison staff and colleagues, leading to increased scrutiny and suspicion. The situation reached a tipping point when photographs surfaced, allegedly showing the judge and the inmate in compromising positions. In response to the allegations, the judge vehemently denied any wrongdoing. She claimed that the meetings were purely professional and that there was no hanky-panky involved. While the judge was able to escape the situation without jail time, the next offender on this list got 12 months. Johnstown CO and inmate get naughty. In Johnstown, Wrexham, a scandal emerged. The incident involved Aisha Gunn, a prison officer at HMP Berwyn, who was arrested following the discovery of her illicit relationship with an inmate named Karam Razak. The affair between Gunn and Razak came to light during a routine security check, which uncovered evidence of their inappropriate relationship. The discovery included intimate messages and photographs exchanged between the two, providing undeniable proof of the misconduct. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, Aisha Gunn admitted to the misconduct, acknowledging her role in the affair with with Razak. Her admission was a critical moment in the unfolding scandal. Gunn's actions not only compromised her own position, but also raised questions about the oversight and management practices in place at the facility. The consequences for Gunn were severe. Following her admission of guilt, she was arrested and subsequently charged with misconduct in a public office. The legal proceedings that followed were closely watched. Ultimately, Aisha Gunn was sentenced to 12 months in jail for her lack of judgment and misconduct. Australian fired for her affair with an inmate. In Sydney's Metropolitan Remand and Reception Centre, a scandal unfolded involving Melissa Godwin, a female prison officer whose actions would lead to her downfall and dismissal from the police force. It was centred around allegations that Godwin had engaged in a sexual relationship with a male inmate, a breach of conduct that would have significant repercussions for her career and reputation. The affair came to light during an internal investigation, prompted by suspicions of contraband smuggling within the facility. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered evidence suggesting that Godwin had been involved in an inappropriate relationship with the inmate. This evidence included intimate communications and witness testimonies that pointed to the existence of the illicit affair. Further compounding the scandal were allegations that Godwin had smuggled contraband items to the inmate. These items included tobacco, cigarette lighters, and chewing gum, all of which are prohibited within the prison environment. Faced with the mounting evidence, Melissa Godwin was charged with misconduct and other related offences. She was dismissed from her position as a police officer. While Godwin only had an affair, the next officer on this list also got pregnant and had a baby for an inmate. Northamptonshire bags, 9 months, sentence for affair with inmate. The story of Ms. Stanton and Edwin Poole at HMP 5 Wells in Northamptonshire is one that has captured the attention of many, shedding light on the hidden dynamics within prison walls. The scandal unfolded when prison staff stumbled upon illicit photos and a love letter in Edwin Poole's cell, sparking an investigation that would reveal a forbidden affair between the police guard and the inmate. The worst part about this affair is that it led to a pregnancy and eventually a baby. As the investigation progressed, the details of their clandestine meetings began to surface. It was revealed that Stanton had used her position to facilitate these encounters. The affair not only compromised the security of the facility, but also highlighted the vulnerabilities within the system that allowed such relationships to flourish. During the trial, she was visibly emotional, breaking down in tears as the judge handed down a 9-month sentence, suspended for 18 months. In addition to the sentence, Stanton was ordered to participate in 20 days of rehabilitation, but the next officer on our list faced more serious legal consequences. Modoc County CO arrested for getting down with an inmate. Melanie Alicia Martin was a correctional officer at the Modoc County Sheriff's Office, whose actions blurred lines between authority and personal relationships within the confines of a correctional facility. Martin's affair with an inmate came to light through a meticulous investigation conducted by an external agency. Melanie Alicia Martin was a respected officer within the Modoc County Sheriff's Office, known for her dedication to her duties. However, beneath the surface of her professional demeanor lay a secret that would ultimately lead to her arrest and the unraveling of her career. The external agency tasked with uncovering the truth conducted a thorough examination of the circumstances, leaving no stone unturned. This independent investigation was crucial in ensuring an unbiased approach to uncovering the facts, free from any internal influences that might have otherwise hindered the process. As the investigation unfolded, details of the illicit relationship began to emerge. It was revealed that Martin had engaged in inappropriate conduct with the inmate. Martin was arrested just like the next correctional officer on our list, who got sent to jail for 16 months for a similar offense in the United Kingdom. Birmingham prison officer caught in rendezvous with an inmate. The forbidden romance at HMP Birmingham involving Shania Begum, a female prison officer, and prisoner Joshua Mullings is a story of misconduct that shook the foundations of the institution. Shania Begum was entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining order and discipline within the walls of HMP Birmingham. However, her involvement with Joshua Mullings, an inmate, revealed a lapse in judgment that would have far-reaching consequences. The affair came to light when prison authorities received intelligence suggesting an inappropriate relationship between the officer and the prisoner. The investigation into Begum's conduct uncovered a series of clandestine meetings with Mullings during which they engaged in illicit activities. As the details of the affair emerged, Begum found herself at the center of a legal storm. She admitted to misconduct in a public office, a charge that carried serious implications for her career and personal life. The case was brought before Birmingham Crown Court, where the full extent of her actions was laid bare. Begum was sentenced to 16 months in jail, a punishment that reflected the seriousness of her misconduct. Memphis officer caught romping an inmate. This affair involving Akira Jones, a rookie female corrections officer at the men's jail in Memphis, is a striking example of the challenges faced by new officers. Akira Jones had recently embarked on her career as a corrections officer, a role that demands a high level of integrity and adherence to strict ethical standards. However, her involvement with an inmate at the men's jail in Memphis revealed a lapse in judgment that would have significant repercussions for her career and personal life. The arrest stemmed from a complaint dated 2024, which accused her of having had sex with an inmate at the Maine County Jail, known colloquially as 201 Poplar. The details of the investigation revealed that Jones had repeatedly engaged in an inappropriate relationship with the inmate, breaching the professional code of conduct expected of corrections officers. The sheriff's office, while confirming the arrest, chose not to disclose the details of the prisoner involved. As the matter was discussed on social media, some wondered if Jones got the job specifically to start her affair with an inmate. While this was an isolated case at the center, the next scandal was 18 misconduct scandals uncovered in one correctional facility. UK female officer caught red-handed with an inmate. Our next scandal in the UK was between Emily Watson and prisoner John McGee at a UK correctional facility, showing how you can ruin your life when you don't control your passion. Emily Watson, a prison officer, was entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining order and discipline within the facility. However, her involvement with John McGee, an inmate, revealed a breach of conduct that would effectively end her career. The affair came to light when Watson was caught performing a sex act on McGee. The discovery of the illicit relationship was part of a larger investigation into inappropriate conduct between prison staff and inmates. Watson's arrest was one of 18 that resulted from the investigation, highlighting a systemic issue within the facility. As the details of the affair emerged, Watson found herself at the center of a legal storm. She was charged with misconduct that flushed her career down the drain. Watson was sentenced to a year in jail and may never be able to work in corrections again, just like the next offender on this list. Watson may have had an affair with an inmate, but our next CO went a step further by cutting a hole in her uniform pants. Fresno County CO court exchange intimacy for drugs with an inmate. A former correctional officer, Tina Gonzalez, at the Fresno County Jail took misconduct to another level. Gonzalez's actions, which included engaging in a relationship with an inmate and providing contraband. The affair came to light when it was discovered that Gonzalez had been engaging in intercourse with the inmate. The most bizarre part of the case is that she cut a hole in her uniform pants to make it easier for the inmate to have intercourse with her at any given convenience. The investigation into Gonzalez's conduct uncovered a series of actions that further compromised the security of the facility. It was revealed that she had provided the inmate with drugs and a cell phone, contraband that posed a significant risk to the safety and order within the jail. As the details of the scandal emerged, Gonzalez admitted to her crimes, acknowledging the serious nature of her misconduct. Tennessee officer arrested for having an affair with an inmate. Janelle Sands' case in Tennessee was another scandal that rocked the nation. She was a corrections officer tasked with the responsibility of overseeing inmates in a special needs facility, a role that required a high level of professionalism and adherence to ethical guidelines. However, her alleged involvement with an inmate would have serious implications for her career and the facility's reputation. The affair came to light when suspicions arose regarding her unusual closeness and fondness of the inmate, prompting an investigation into her conduct. As the case unfolded, Sands was held on a $3,500 bond while the legal proceedings took place. The case was particularly disgusting because the inmate lacked the mental capacity to consent to the affair. Even if they did, the power dynamics would have still made it an assault case. Assistant Superintendent caught having an affair. Sunitha Reddy held a respected position within the Anti-Corruption Bureau, tasked with upholding the law and maintaining integrity within the force. However, her involvement with Circle Inspector Mallikarjun Reddy revealed a breach of conduct that would lead to a series of unfortunate events. The affair came to light when her husband, Surendra Reddy, caught the two in a compromising position at an apartment in the KPHB colony prison. Sunitha Reddy had long suspected his wife's infidelity, but chose to wait for the right moment to catch her red-handed. His determination to expose the affair was driven by a desire to reveal the misconduct of these respected officers. Sunitha Reddy faced intense scrutiny from her peers and superiors, as well as the public, who were shocked by what happened. The scandal not only tarnished her reputation, but also raised questions about the integrity of the Anti-Corruption Bureau and its ability to uphold ethical standards. While she didn't face any criminal charges or lose her job, her marriage took a hit that later led to divorce. At least Sunitha admitted her wrongdoing. The next officer on this list denied it to the bitter end. corrupt prison officer jailed over relationship with inmate at HMP Berwyn. Jennifer Gavin, a prison officer at HMP Berwyn, was accused of entering into an inappropriate relationship with prisoner Alex Coxon. The events that led to this accusation began when Gavin was working at the prison in Wrexham, North Wales. It is alleged that Gavin, who was in a position of authority, began to form a close bond with Coxon, giving him special treatment. This bond eventually developed into a romantic relationship. Prosecutor David Mainstone, at Mold Crown Court, stated that prison authorities received intelligence of a possible relationship between Gavin and Coxon. This intelligence led to an investigation, which uncovered evidence of the inappropriate relationship. The investigation revealed that Gavin and Coxon had been exchanging letters and gifts, and had even been meeting in secret within the prison. This behavior is a clear breach of prison regulations and ethics. Gavin was subsequently arrested and charged with misconduct in public office. She denied the charges, but was found guilty following a trial. During the trial, the court heard that Gavin had been working at the prison for several years and had built up a reputation as a respected and professional officer before the incident, just like the last officers on this list. Married police officer fired after having intercourse with 6 different cops. A shocking scandal has rocked the police department in Lavergne, Tennessee, after it was revealed that Officer Megan Hall had engaged in a series of illicit, immoral encounters with multiple colleagues. According to reports, Hall, a married police officer, had intimate relationships with at least 6 different officers, including her supervisors. The alleged affairs involved sending explicit pictures, engaging in oral intercourse, and even bragging about the size of one partner's genitals. One of the officers involved in the scandal allegedly claimed to be in an open marriage, which seemed to be used as a justification for the illicit behavior. However, this claim did little to mitigate the severity of the situation, as the actions of Hall and her colleagues were deemed to be a clear breach of police department policies and protocols. In the aftermath of the scandal, Hall was fired from her position as a police officer. 2 other officers who had allegedly engaged in romantic encounters with Hall, Patrick Magliocco and Larry Holliday, were suspended but managed to keep their jobs. In the wake of the department's verdict, feminists sparked outrage on social media, arguing that Hall was treated unfairly and with double standards. Thanks for watching. Check out the other cards on your screen.